Because I don't know how much I have to say about this episode, I'll just get my overall opinion out right away. I did not love this episode all that much. It had solid moments, but overall, it just didn't bring anything big to the table that can keep me interested in the story. This show as a whole has not really been for me, so I don't want to make anyone feel bad for liking this episode, but I personally didn't find myself leaning either way on it. It wasn't bad in any aspect. The animation still looks great, and the story was fine enough. It just didn't have anything that wowed me, something that would keep me engaged and excited for more. After last week, we all knew that the episode was going to deal with them finding a way off-planet, and probably looking for their ship as well. Sid didn't seem eager to help last week, so it was going to be in the hands of the Bad Batch. The episode starts off in the same abandoned camp we left off with in last week's episode, and especially in this episode, I noticed how pessimistic the Bad Batch seemed to be, whereas Omega is the hopeful one of the group. Throughout the episode, she is noticeably more positive and caring and willing to trust others, and just more lighthearted too, whereas the other clones all seem to be very tense in their actions. It's likely just the difference in age and experience, but I did enjoy the different personalities because it does make Omega stand out more to me. Omega gets the idea to use Gonki to find their stolen ship, and we're then introduced to Benny and Mako and the whole gang. Even though I kind of saw it coming, I wasn't a huge fan initially of the thief being a kid, but that was alleviated when we got to see Mako and the bigger operation that Benny was a part of. I thought Benny had some good character moments throughout, especially when he and Omega worked together, but in the end, it was predictable that he would turn Omega in for status with Mako. Mako was basically just another one-off animation villain, so I didn't care for him that much, and this story of a corrupt boss hiding information and resources from his workers seems to be like something that we've done a bunch of times, so I wasn't that big of a fan seeing it play out again. The Bad Batch were able to locate Gonki fairly easily, and then use Benny to find their way to the ship. This is where I started to lose interest in the episode, and realized that this one just wasn't going to be for me. The music helped a bit with setting the tone and pace, but it was just lacking something exciting to make me want to watch more. All we really got to see was the suppression on the planet, and this thief kid, who I doubt will show up anytime soon, if at all. The Bad Batch are then sidelined for a good chunk of the episode, repairing the ship while Omega and Benny go off to deactivate the shield, and these moments did do a good job of fleshing out the oppression here, and it shows Omega how valuable things like food can be to some people, things that she may take for granted because of her family. One of these scenes does set up a bit of a rivalry between Benny and Drake, which is sort of called back to later on to give a moment more meaning, but I'll get into that later. Omega and Benny go off to deactivate the shield, and like many of us probably saw coming, Benny turns Omega into Mako, but not before she is able to find evidence that Mako has been lying about the resources and keeping more food and money to himself. We do then get some tension in the standoff above the mines, and this was definitely my favorite moment of the episode. We can almost always assume that our main characters are going to make it out alive, but we never know in what condition, and to be honest, I was a bit worried about Benny's odds of survival here. This scene finally gave the episode some weight and tension to it, and the red haze also made for some cool visual shots. I found Wrecker's line about them not missing a bit funny, just because we have seen them shoot badly on multiple occasions, and their sharpshooter left them for the Empire. But then Benny barges in and reveals the truth. I was a bit worried when Drake saw the information that he would destroy it and side with Mako, but his backing gets the other workers to believe the accusation, resulting in Mako falling to his death. Here I was very confused why Benny showed any sign of remorse or regret when he tried to save Mako, because he just outed him as a liar and a thief, getting the others to turn on him as well, but then tried to pull him up to save him. I don't know, but it did bug me a little. Hunter has an enjoyable action sequence as he saves Omega from falling into the pit, and then as the Batch are about to leave, we get a tease that Benny may show up again, telling Omega that he owes them one if they ever need a thief. I personally don't really want to see him again, but he could be included in a way that makes me enjoy his character more, so I'm not completely against anything yet. I've found that Omega being around other adolescents does make her more of an enjoyable character for me, so it's possible they could get that to work the other way as well. Retrieval tells an average story that resolves the Batch's problems, but lacks any grand emotion or spectacle to make it a compelling watch, earning a rating of 6.5 out of 10. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more reviews like this, and remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.